That's all we talk about.
Came with the sex tip.
Yeah. So Father's Day gonna end up around on that sex topic. Y'all already know. It's all right. I mean, without sex, you ain't no father.
So y'all know nothing about that.
They get uncomfortable talking about that, though.
I don't know why.
It's natural.
Unless they nuns out this morning. Claiming to be nuns. What's good, bro? Stay tuned into the live.
We're going live.
Bro.
We're going live, and we live now, but I'm saying we're going live on air in 7:30. Y'all.
Show gonna be starting it in 13 minutes, bro. Stay on the live. Matter of fact, I'll probably drop this live and start a new one once the show starts.
That's what I said. What up?
Yeah.
Like I said, we ain't talking about sex tonight. Be sure to hit the line.
Father of the Academy.
Already.
Yeah.
Already.
Happy Father's Day to you,
Y'all
bro.
See him? Super Saiyan.
Yeah, legendary.
Special guests in the building. Couple special guests, you know. We couldn't just pull one. We got a whole
Easy.
Yeah.
You know I gotta see if y'all ready, bro. Yeah. See if y'all ready. Y'all got Anthony. It's good, man.
Yeah. Test.
Yeah.
Got the big dog in here.
Paulo, what's good, bro?
Check. Yeah, we can go on 720.
720, y'all.
You might give it a little
720.
early tonight.
720. 2 minutes. We live. 2 minutes. We live. 704-883-5129.
2 minutes.
Yeah, that call in number 704-883-5129.
2 minutes. We
Call
on.
in.
Make sure y'all hit the request line tonight. Conversate with us.
Hey, what's on your mind? What's good, Goldie?
Oh Lord, we got Uncle Stephen in the building tonight.
That's
Yeah.
Love. Uncle Stephen.
Y'all share that live. Share
What
the
my
live.
cousin?
Share
That's
the
y'all
live.
uncle. Got Stefan. Is it Stephen or Stefan? It's Stephen. Nobody they be calling Stefan at work. That's what they always call me. The house. Stefan. It's Stephen.
what's the tell me
704-883-5129.
What's going on,
5129.
So for all y'all to call him Stefan, his name is Stephen. I'm surprised he ain't cuss y'all out about it.
Let me.
Father's Day.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah, it goes into one of those grooves back there. I usually put mine in the first one.
You wanted them.
Yeah, or turn it down, bro. Yeah, that was a man starting video. I just need to jump on mine.
That's gonna be.
Yeah, it'll
be ready.
automatic.
You have to put your call in number in. Buffering right now. Alright, y'all. We're about to go live.
Y'all share the live. Share the live.
About to get it started. Stay tuned.
There we got the OG in the building, baby.
Oh, Jizzle. We lit.
I'm on the
You on the hotspot?
We about to go live. Sorry.
I'm gonna jump off then.
I don't really get much in here without that.
883-5139. Call in.
5129, bro.
5129.
Yeah, 29.
I'm sorry, y'all. That is all wrong.
5129.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
5129.
704-883-51.
Yeah.
I'm about to fix that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's about to go down.
Happy Father's Day, bro.
DJ
Appreciate
Bowler. Hey, Isabella, what's up, baby? So you look forward to our conversation. Hey, it's gonna be interesting. It's always interesting. But what y'all don't understand, these is like normal conversations. This is like what we
All the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Only gonna give pops a What a handful, canfolk. You are now tuned in to Academy Radio. I'm 11. I'm with Honest,
What it do?
Big Baby Boom,
Yeah, yeah.
and Genius on the beat.
What's good, people?
We are Academy on there. We just here to inspire, motivate, and most importantly,
Show love.
man.
Show
And
love.
today, yo, is a special show, a very, very special show. We showing love to the fathers. Showing
Yes.
love to the fathers. 11 feel like fathers get the short end of the stick, so today 11 said we gonna show love to the fathers. And I handpicked, I got my favorite fathers in the building today. Fathers of the year to me, man. Guys are very close to me, man. I've learned a lot from them, man. They some great fathers. They're very present and influential, and they give positive energy to their kids, man. I really rock with them a long way. And they family. So special guest we got today is the father of the Academy. Father of the
Already.
Academy, man. I
Yo,
call
yo,
him
yo.
Pops. I call him Daddy. You know what I'm saying? His legal is Brandon, Christopher Carr, but you know, we call him what you call him. But everybody give it up for Pops, man.
What's up? What's up?
Hey. How you doing, Pops? How's your Father's Day so far? How's
Yeah,
it
it's
been?
wonderful. It's wonderful. Been a good day.
That's good,
Busy.
man.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
So not only do I got Pops, man, my best friend since we was like 5 years old, I also got him in the building. He came through. Great father, great father, great father. I call him J-Bo.
Yo,
We call him Bo. His legal
50
is
Shades.
Joshua Ramir Bowman, but everybody give it up for J-Bo.
J-Bo.
Everybody give it up for
Underscore
J-Bo.
50 Shades of Bo.
What's good? What's good?
What's good? We in the
50
building.
Shades of J-Bo is his Instagram.
50 Shades of Bo.
50 Shades of J-Bo is
Of
his
Bo.
Instagram.
Underscore. DJ Bo.
Oh yeah, that's also
Book
my
me.
DJ
Yeah,
partner,
what's
man.
good,
That's also
bro?
my DJ partner. Last father we have in the building right now, but certainly not least, man. Last father we have in the building right now, but certainly not least. My other brother, you know.
That's my cousin, but that's my dog.
That's your dog, bro.
Big.
Ah.
Big.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
bro. That's your dog, bro. We call him Tay, man. His legal is John Tay DeJuan Pardo. So everybody give it up for Tay, yo.
Hey,
Give it up for
hey,
Tay.
dude,
Shout out
bro,
Tay.
yeah.
Shout out,
In the
yo.
flesh,
Shout out.
in the
Happy
flesh.
Father's Day, bro.
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Realest dudes
Yeah,
I know.
appreciate it.
The realest. One of the realest.
Man, realest for real. Happy Father's Day to everybody. I'm not a father. I wanted to give all the fathers in the building an opportunity to talk about some of the proudest moments as being fathers. You know, I don't feel like y'all get a lot of opportunity to say what y'all proud of, and you know, speak from a vulnerable side. So tell us some of the proudest moments when you were a father that you made you say, "Man, that makes me proud to be a father." And I'm gonna just start with the immediate left of me with Genius.
Already.
So probably the proudest moment for myself would be probably May 6, 2007. That's whenever my wife dropped the first one on me, you know. And it's at that point, you know, where you realize that you're responsible for another person's life outside of yourself. So, I mean, I don't think it gets more proud than that.
That's facts, man. The first one, he said, first one made him like
Proudest moment.
proudest moment. So that's respect. Big Baby Boom, man. Proudest moment.
My proudest moment. Oh, I really don't really have a proudest moment, man. I'm just proud every day, though. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
I think what makes you proud, like when you see your teachings, the things that you are trying to develop and instill in your kid, and you see that they growing from it. Like,
Right.
I mean, like my son's 2, man. Like, boy, it's like super smart, and
Take credit for some of that.
I take credit for some of that.
That's,
You know what
that's
I mean?
a proud moment, bro.
Indeed.
That's facts.
Just, no, so I mean, daily he makes me proud though through his growth, bro, and just through his growth, his success. I mean, I'm proud of that every day.
That's what's up. So you out here proud of saying that he learns from you. Proud of saying he actually taking what you put into him.
And he's using it. He's wise with
He's
it.
wise, okay.
Yeah, like very wise kid. And that's true. I mean, it's strategic for me. You know? Like I was talking to my wife today. Saw him at the park. The boy climbed that ladder by himself at 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like 5 feet, 6 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And
I grew a couple of them up.
you know what I'm saying? But as a father,
Yeah.
we didn't instill that fear in him.
Right.
Now, had the women been over there, they've been going crazy. Get him down. I'm like, nah, let him go.
Let them be.
So it's just, this type of teaching us. I don't want to instill fear in my kids. So, yeah, man. So,
Honest, man. I'm going to transition to you. What's your proudest moments as a father?
One of my proudest, most proudest moments, I'll get a little more materialistic, is when I was able to buy a house to shelter for my children. I was able to do that. That was a proud moment. Other than the turn my mic on. Other than the just my baby's coming. Other than that proud moment, my proudest moment would be being able to provide shelter and a home for my family.
Right.
right on, man.
That's respect, bro.
Facts.
That's respect, man. Father of the Academy, Pops, man. What's your proudest moments as a father? And you got all 3 of your boys
Yeah.
Up in cheer.
So be
Yeah,
careful.
I know, right?
You
I
got
know, right? Well,
Already.
I can go ahead and blanket this. Really, I mean, it's pretty hard because to think of one moment, but I will say I've had 3 strong moments that has made me proud. One was Jay was probably 4, and I knew that I had this responsibility, and I was really trying to drill it in him. I wanted him to see, or just kind of instill the values that my father instilled in me. But it was weird. He probably don't remember it, but I had taken him over to my mom's house, and my dad used to walk across the street in the field, and just kind of like beat the weeds with the stick. But I went to see my parents, had Tay with me, and Tay was across the street with him, and I could see this from the door, him walking behind my dad with a stick and beating the grass like my dad was doing. So that let me know, that I'm probably doing something right. And then, the rest of the moments, of course, when Honest came along, who's probably breath of my breath, bone of my bone, more so than any of my boys.
He's just like you.
Yeah, so that was one thing. And then, of course, when I had this radical kid come, silent but dangerous. And yeah, right. But I know one of the other proudest moments was when I was getting ready to chastise him, because Tevin used to, when he was young, he would just say stuff, and I would think he would be copying grown-ups. And he would just say, like, wouldn't be nothing disrespectful, but he would like speak almost as an adult. And then I was getting ready to check him, and my grandmother, she just kind of told me, she said, "Let me talk to you." She said, "Now this kid, now this boy right here, don't muzzle him, and you can't raise him. You're gonna have to learn how to raise this kid, because he just has this thing with him." And as you know, I've never muzzled him.
Right.
I've always tried to like understand him. And it was at that moment I knew that, even from my grandmother seeing, that there was a calling on his life. And I think we're kind of taking this journey with not only him, but my other boys too.
Raise some lions.
Oh
that's
yeah.
facts, yo.
Yeah,
And I was
no
gonna
doubt.
say,
No doubt.
And these boys right here,
Yeah.
you can't do it. They hard. You can't just tame them.
No, you can't do that.
One of the things I really appreciate about Pop said that I'm just gonna say this. He talked about how not the Muslim man. He had to deal with that. My father, he legit spoke life into me my entire life, and I taught how I was so headstrong. But he made me believe that everything I touched turned into gold, or would turn into gold. I believed that, bro, and it came into fruition. Like everything I did, he thought I was the shit. Like if I was playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like my pops made me feel like, okay, I wasn't worried about nobody else's. I wasn't worried about nobody else. I wasn't worried about like having no other fans. So I do appreciate that, and I know it had to be hard knowing that I was a different type of child, really headstrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like still being able to support them and push, feed into a confident. Like I'm cocky, so to speak positive into a kid who's already cocky. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a task.
That's why I feel. That's why. I guess Ace gonna be a Tevin type with a little bit of BJN.
I mean, the best you can do.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like coming from, like, cause y'all know Ace.
Yeah.
Ace is already a headstrong, consistent. Pain don't affect him.
Right.
Taking stuff and confining them works more for him. When you talking about disciplining them.
Yeah.
So. That's all I can actually ask the father, like, how should I approach it? Like,
it was kind of touch and go for me because I had these three different, strong personalities. Because don't get me wrong, raising my oldest boy, raising Tay was different because he was a daredevil,
right?
And being a young father, I didn't want to be at the ER all the time.
Right.
And I could actually tell him not to do something, and
he
can chastise him. But it was after a while I was like, well, he gonna learn, but he will fall, get hurt, cry.
Try it again.
I'll get on him. See, that's what happened. But he back at it, and I just knew then that he's just gonna be that type of kid. But I think from that made him like a stronger individual, which where he can take some punches and some life punches. And then when it came to honest, it was just like I tried to govern him because I was seeing so much of myself in him, and I didn't really want him to go down the paths I went. But at some point, my mom had to tell me, I ain't need a whooping him. Because you might as well hit yourself. And he and I, especially once he was getting older, we would lock horns, man. But
we got a caller.
Got a caller early today.
Early, man. We appreciate you calling, man. It's Academy on there. Who am I speaking with? Hello.
Anybody on?
Hello? Speaking on, bro.
They hung up, bro. They hung up.
Hey, y'all can call back, bro.
Call back.
Call back. Don't go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, but real quickly, it's just that I had to. He loves hard like I do,
right?
So,
yeah, true,
and I think even with me being, cause I felt myself I was harder on Tay because I'm like, you're the oldest. Right. You gotta mark the path for these other two, so I won't be marking everybody's path.
Right.
So, but then after BJ comes along, he's just like so strong headed, and it was so much of me that I was seeing it, and I was like, nah, I ain't raising me.
Right.
I want him to be, I want him to be more like his mom. But even through that, we probably had some of the rockiest interactions, but the way he is, he's very understanding, and I think through it all, he kind of knew. But when it comes to raising Monk, like I said, you have to warn him, and even like sit down and talk to him. Like when it came to a dialogue, and I felt like he was edgy, I tried to listen to him first. Right. I didn't just say, man, stop all that.
Right.
Hush all that. His mom was having a hard time with it. But I'm like, you know what? We don't know what his growth where his growth is going to come from.
Right.
Because I won't share it, but God gave me a vision a few years ago about where his path is going to, and I think right now this is the beginning of it. Yes, man.
We ain't gonna, we ain't gotta spill it, but hey.
Yeah, no, but it don't.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you, it don't all look like a bed of roses. But you know what? He's got to grow through it.
Oh yeah.
That's facts.
But you know, as a father, I have to be able to just sit back, still be there,
Right.
and still protect him because I'm still like James Carr. I'm like Jake.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, to his dying day, I believe he'd have raised up off his bed and threw bows for me.
Right.
And that's just
Oh,
the kind
yeah.
of man he was. But with raising Ace, you just have to nurture him and teach him respect. And it's I don't know it all, man. It was just like
I
trial
just know
and
you got boys. So
yeah, a lot of times I look
Ace
back.
is all boy.
A lot of times I got confirmation from my boys though, because I would be at tay, boom, boom, and then years go by, then we'd sit down, then I hear it come out of his mouth, and then that makes me feel like, damn, he got it, and he's pretty much telling me, Daddy, I got it, but he still got that same old when he ain't acting right.
Yeah.
And I have to get on him about something or advise him because it's more advising him now. He's a grown man. He got his own family.
Right.
Even if he's wrong, he'll come back just like he used to when he was 4 or 5 years old. And he paced back and forth. And then he's like, well, Daddy, you know.
Put their head to the side.
Yeah, Daddy, you know. And then he just kind of let me know, yeah, I messed up, boy. I see what you're saying. And it's been a journey. It's been a learning experience. And I'm still learning because now I have to learn how to be an advisor to these three men.
Because I feel like as a father, that's all we can do is
Mm-hmm.
you plant those right seeds that can be nourished, man. And it's going to come back.
Yeah.
They're going to remember what you taught them. So I'm learning that already.
And they
Just
will.
plant the seeds. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I say. I don't never really want to control my son. But I want to plant seeds of things that stick with them, man. Provided this, like, do you have to control them to a certain extent, or do you?
Listen, now when you say control, I mean a lot of people scared of that word these days.
Right.
Yeah.
But you really have to because he's 2. He has to learn, and he can't learn from nobody other than you, the man that he lives with, the man that gave him life. The man that part of his personality is from you.
Right.
So those type of things you have to be able to you have to govern them and teach him how to govern himself. Because he has to know right and wrong. And he has to know when something is too far or when he's just gonna get a bump on the head.
Right.
I ain't ever want them to get no bump. And yes, I whooped some butt too. I did.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times sometimes it probably wasn't. I probably acted swiftly and then had to think about it. But then there's sometimes I had to go there for them to think about it because when you raising boys, 3 boys,
oh yeah,
and you raising alphas,
oh yeah, they all alphas.
I mean that's something to contend with.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
It is, man.
Good job.
It's something to contend with, and I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm still learning, and I ain't gonna sit there and say I did everything right. But one thing my boys know, I love them to life,
Oh yeah.
and then they know.
Shit, you done about beat me up. What?
I mean, it's
I'm another boy. Like, man, get off my son.
but that's the way it is, dude.
Facts, bro. That's facts. Yo, I want to give J-Bo an opportunity to tell us his proudest moment as a father.
Well, I don't have a proudest moment. I'm proud every day, man.
Right.
Just the fact that I've been able to be there from day one. And, like, my mother raised me. You know what I'm saying? My dad was there, but my mother raised me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Good job.
you know, I seek out help. Uncle Brandon, he's my dad, too. You know what I'm saying? he done whooped me before too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Josh, man.
I done got whooped, bro. I got whooped. I done got whooped, bro.
You look
But
more
yeah,
stockier
man.
than this.
Just the fact that I can be there daily, man, it's been a joy. And just to see him grow as a young man, it's been amazing to me because, like I say, I seek out guidance every day because I ask myself, am I too hard on him? Because I didn't have that example of how a man should be on a son. You know what I'm saying? My mother raised me.
Yeah.
You know, my dad probably beat me twice. So I'm, you know, and I know how I am. So like my son, when he does wrong, I get him because I work in the school system and I want him to be on the right path. So it goes back to that control. It's not a control thing, but it's just keeping him on the right path to know right from wrong. Because I go to work every day, and you get a young man look at you in your face and tell you what he's not gonna do.
Right.
And for me, I wish I would get a phone call saying that Aiden done some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, but I was a troubled kid though, and I guess my pops wasn't there in the early years, but when he did get out, I will say it made a difference, bro. Them butt whoopers. It was different now, but I guess that I'm with you.
I mean, I know it makes a difference, man, and he's watching me daily, and I know I don't always do right, but I show love, and I try to be the right example. You know what I'm saying? So he can be a young man himself. But I'm proud of him, and so like I say, I don't have a proud.
You got to discipline with understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Bro.
Understand they
That's
still
facts, bro.
kids, man.
Yeah.
They kids, and
Still
they not
kids.
gonna learn.
Make them understand why you discipline.
Right.
Bro.
Yes. I
Teaching
think
them
that's
is-
Because
very.
I understand as a man though, sometimes what is hard, like some of your frustrations. You come home from work. Say you working tough jobs. Having to
Never
deal with
ends,
people
man.
sometimes all days, and sometimes those emotions will boil over into your home, and sometimes your kids can get the
Yeah.
I mean,
The butt of that.
Facts, yeah.
yeah. Sometimes they can, but that hadn't always been. I was with my father. Directives were big, and it wasn't no saying it more than once.
right.
Now,
Oh,
whereas my father would say he would be in another room, and if he called your name, yeah, he need to see your face within seconds.
Right.
And if you say "huh" from the other room, you're gonna see his
Ain't no
face
huh
within
thing.
seconds. And then it's already done. So learning that from my father, I required the same thing, eye contact,
Right.
but there was still some things I didn't do that my father did.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't abusive,
Right.
but
right.
I was like, it just changed for me because I'm like, nah, because when my dad did this, it scared the crap out of
You
me.
remember how it made you
Yeah,
feel?
so
Right.
I didn't do that. Now, I probably passed some things down that I done that they don't want to pass on to their kids.
Right.
But what I have to understand is what my father did the best he could with what he knew.
Right. That's true.
And then I tried to do the best that I could,
Right,
being, I mean, you talking about 17 years old, 16 years old, and
Oh yeah.
Dante was like just a ball of energy.
Right.
And then I'm like, but it wasn't bad energy.
Right.
It's just that I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And then it take your place of peace away though.
Whoa.
That's why I tell people, what's that kid
Kept
come?
me thinking.
Yeah, you ain't got no place.
I
of
knew
peace.
this when they say if kids are in the house and it's quiet, you better go find them.
for real.
Because if I couldn't hear them, then I'm scared.
He in or something.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like
most of the time I can hear them.
But,
Go ahead.
like you said, there's some things that your father did that you won't do, and there's some things that we won't do. I think it's natural that the generation should get better and smarter. So,
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
And I also think that generation should be teaching elders just as much as the elders young.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Hey man, I'm glad you brought that up because this is a great because we do have an elder. Well, I ain't gonna say but you're an elder.
I understand.
But you came from that generation
Yeah.
of that, and I was having that same discussion with my mom.
But let's understand, I had babies when I was baby. So
got you.
you
But
know.
I was having this discussion with my mom this week. We was just talking like how, well, we always talk about how the elders and the younger generation, it's like this clash right now, and the elders that can't wrap their mind around this newer with the younger generation and how their frame of thinking. But then I was like, and I was I'm like in the middle of that.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes I listen to the old, I understand the old, and I reason more with the old than the new.
Yeah.
But then when I start opening my mind and listening to it, it made a lot more sense to me because I didn't I feel like sometimes the elders shut them out a lot of times.
But that's because I'm your homie, bro. I'm your nigga, bro. So you gonna be
Nah,
I
could shut you out too. I could be like, man, I ain't listening to Jeff today, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? But I began to not even just you, just other younger individuals that start opening my mind to it. And I was like, I get it. And a lot of times, often the old generation, when it's making them uncomfortable, they kind of like, I don't want to hear that.
I will say that Pops, man, shit, he'll call me. Like, if he got questions about some shit, he feel like and that made me feel good as a son because I do feel like sons should teach their fathers when they come of age, just as much as fathers teach their sons because I see life from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
He raised me be more liberal than him. Like, if I don't grow up more liberal than my father, then my father failed me. Because he struggled for no reason if I ain't got more freedom than when he grew up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, in order for me to, when I get more freedom, I'm going to get more access to more knowledge. And when I get more access to more knowledge and more truths, it's my duty. He paid the struggle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me to get this knowledge. So it's my duty to give it back to him.
Right.
I appreciate that if my father has questions, he
Yeah,
just call me, son, I got a question. And it can be something like very educational, something that I can go and look in a book and find an answer. Or it could be something even spiritual that I got to do some self-work within myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just something that I got to tarry with. But just to feel like my father respects me on that level, to be like, I respect you as a man enough to ask you a question, to ask you how you feel about this. You know what I'm saying? And take that like you a man. You know what I'm saying? Just like I would take words from another man. I think,
that made me feel good.
Well, really, I ain't trying to hog, but just because I'm at a point now, me as a dad has shifted into a new. I'm in something new now, so I'm really learning. All right, now, and I've been here since.
Now you got man.
Yes, so, and I tell them now, even like when they share things with me, and I don't really agree with the decision that they're making, I'll give them my opinion, and then I'll say, but at the end of the day, you grown, you're a man. Now with that, you're gonna make your decision and you go with it, but be ready to contend.
That's right.
With the consequence, if there is a consequence, or be able to contend with the fallout, or be able to contend with whatever blessing come from it. I mean, because, and I'm constantly learning. Tammy got me to reading and digging again.
Right.
Because I had to be honest, as a father, you know, I raised him the best that I could.
Right.
And I think to the point of 5, 6, I've already poured into him what he's actually grasping. Right. Now it's him to decide what he taking now.
Right.
So I mean, once he started searching, I had to go see. I'm like, what is my son searching for?
Right.
I respect that.
And then you know what I'm saying? Once I did that, then I can see our paths are similar, because not that I kept a dialogue with the people that I might attend church with, or people I might sit down and share my spirituality with. And when I say spirituality, I ain't talking about jumping inside of no 4 walls.
Right.
What I started doing it when I seen his path, I'm like, I done been there.
Right. Exactly.
And then I get a book, and I'll read a book, then I say, check this out, Mom. Or I may read an excerpt from something, and I ask him what he think, just to kind of see. and we bounce things off, and then he gets so excited.
Mhm.
But
He love
but at the end of the
knowledge,
day,
Mhm.
I see I've already been there. All he just made me do was go back to my books.
So why do that make the older generation so? When you present new knowledge to them, why do they get so uncomfortable about it?
Because they deem it challenging in some instances. But I also think if, just say for instance, if the new generation is trying to build a nation,
Mhm.
you're gonna need old heads in your nation.
That's right.
Because regardless of differences of opinion, there's wisdom in the old heads.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what I think now is sometimes the younger generation is real defensive because they pretty much waiting to be attacked,
Right.
or they waiting to be rejected, or their
Right.
thoughts to be rejected. So it just kind of create this tension. So my charge to Monk was, all right, if you building a nation, then you have to do it in a way to where you're not damning the foundation of anything,
Right.
because everything is built on some form of foundation.
Right. Right. Right.
It could be the way the mortar was built in the foundation,
Right.
but it is a foundation.
Right.
I mean-
I think the elders don't see that in the knowledge. Like, I feel like when younger people try to give elders new knowledge, and it ain't even new. I call it neo because a lot of the shit that young people are talking about is ain't actually ancient knowledge. It's stuff that they gotta go back and read history books to learn. So it ain't really new knowledge. It's
Right.
neo knowledge. It's
Right.
knowledge we relearning.
Well, it's still new to them because they haven't never reached.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. So if it's, I mean, if you ain't never researched, it's still new to you. You know what I mean?
new
The knowledge was there,
Yeah,
but yeah.
But the
yeah.
teachings and the practices is what people scared of.
Right.
People not scared of new knowledge. People not scared of knowledge. But it's when you say sage or burn sage that people like. That's witchcraft. So it's the practice.
Right.
It's the
Right.
actual practice that
Right.
people are scared of, and
Right.
the actual practice ain't new. The actual practice is neo because they did it in ancient times.
Right,
We're
right.
just figuring it out again. Do it. But
Gotcha,
what I was
gotcha.
gonna say is, a lot of times the elders, in my opinion, don't understand that the youth wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even have this knowledge if we didn't have the foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's my duty to come back and teach because I went to college, had my daddy not sacrificed and struggled for me to go to college.
Right.
Me going to college gave me an opportunity to network. You know what I'm saying? Me networking gave me more knowledge.
Right.
I also wouldn't have been able to go off to college if my brothers hadn't sacrificed the way they sacrificed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to say it's my obligation, but I do there's a responsibility of when I figure out something or when I find out something, I'm like, I wouldn't
I
have
got
got
shared.
these keys
Right.
had they not struggled.
Right.
So I gotta go back
Right.
and tell them. And sometimes I feel like, and it's the youth. It's the youth's fault too because the youth make like this woke shit and this conscious shit like it's this elitist club that only the exclusive can get into.
Right,
And if
right.
you ain't rocking with it, then you dumb and you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
They
But
feel
I think that's where the clash come at though. Oftentimes when you see them, one that's taking that spiritual movement, they oftentimes bash the foundation that they once stood on. They go back and a lot of times they damn the church and they damn Christianity. And you know, majority of the way we're raised in Christianity. This is the only faith that we know. So to come back and challenge my faith and make me feel like I'm dumb for believing in this faith, you know what I'm saying? That's like, I feel like that's
but
where
a lot of the youth feel dumb because a lot of the youth had already had questions. A lot of the youth were already having questions within themselves already. So then when they go out and they seek and they start to find answers, and these answers, I'm not saying they're true, but the answers that they find say your questions that you've always had have been questions because what you've been believing ain't all the way true. And then when they feel like they've been wasting their time. Yeah,
Right.
they feel like they've been believing in some bullshit.
right,
Even though there's truth in it and it kept them. When you
Right.
realize, when you're trying to wake up and you already got questions and you find like a lie, it might be one lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then you like start to question everything.
And my challenge to them is to continue to question everything.
That's
'cause
facts.
all of it has its flaws.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's knowledge and it's
Can I
hidden.
share a quote
Yeah.
from somebody that's watching? Antoine, thanks for listening in, man. He says the information is the same. The interpretations change generationally.
Right.
He said that's the gap to be addressed, and I agree. I think if we can kind of put down, or if we can kind of have a meeting of the minds, and I'm not saying that I'm so far separated from what y'all call the new generation,
Right.
because like I said, I listen. I listen a lot, and I take into account what's being said, and then I speak up when I don't quite understand something, or if I just don't agree.
Right.
And I think if at the end of the day we should be able to walk away. It depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for a resolve?
Right.
Are you looking for an answer? Are you looking to be right? But I think nothing.
But you know what? That's why I was gonna say that's the issue, because that's what.
Nothing is going to be. You're not going to find a resolution in a conversation if somebody just wants to be right, or if you already got your guards cocked, got your guns cocked
Right.
for the first rebuttal or for the first question.
I
Right.
believe if you believe that there is such thing as right, and you go into the conversation, whether you go into a conversation with a different person, and just the debate starts with you prove that what you think in your mind is right or
Right.
true,
Right.
and like universally true, you
Okay.
already failed because you're really learning at that.
You know what? And I agree, because
And
a lot of
that
oftentimes
should
you're gonna
be
shut.
the reason of the conversation. Why are you having that conversation with that person? But like, what does it matter that you prove to that person that you're right?
Right.
What do you win from it?
Nothing.
But if
Right.
you listen to that person and learn something from that person, you actually gain something.
That's
at that
true,
point.
man.
So when you go in thinking, I'm gonna show that I'm right, you've already lost because you have nothing to gain from that win.
Right.
But if you go in saying this person got something to teach me, I ain't never met them.
Right.
And because I ain't never met them, they're an open book. And because
Right.
they're an open book, I can learn something. Now you can win. And now you can get currency from that person. Now you can catch a vibe from that person.
Like you say, like you're a challenge. You may challenge a statement just to gain knowledge
Right,
or
yeah.
to gain an understanding.
Yeah.
More so than just.
That's the way I approach it. I mean,
Yeah.
for real, because I don't really consider myself old head.
Nah, you not.
Like I said, I was able to throw football with my boys,
Right.
play basketball with them.
Right.
Would I change the way my life has gone? No, because I think the lack of the gap between my generation and theirs, it helps me understand them more. Now, I'm not saying everybody need to have kids when they're young.
Right. Right.
I think you need to be a little more established. I wish I was, but you know, at the end of the day, this is the hand that I was dealt.
Right.
And I tried to make the best of it because I watched my mom and dad, even though I came along later in the pack, I saw what my dad was building with my mom. He was 19, she was 15. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
those kind, I mean, did I do everything right? I ain't. I mean,
Nobody
I'm big.
does.
I'm a big enough man to say no, but you know what? I thought the good outweighed the bad.
Right.
That's
Always.
facts, man.
Yeah,
We
and
products
you did a
of
hell
that.
of a job.
You did a hell of a
Hell
job.
of a job.
We
Yeah.
products of that. I want to give. I want to stop right quick to give a shout out to our photographer Jay Heck. First off, shout out to Jay Heck for helping us out, man. Man, I'm gonna just right quick, bro. We don't pay him nothing, man. He pull up. He a part of the team, man. He do his thing every Sunday, man. We here.
Yep.
Want to give a shout out to his father, man. Shout out to his father, Petey Floyd. You know,
Yeah.
big shout out, man. He's just like another father figure to me. I just wanted to take some time while we was on.
Yeah.
Let him know that we love you. We thinking about you. We sending you vibes. Happy Father's Day to Floyd. You know, and I want to give Jonte. I want to give Tay an opportunity to tell us what he's most proud of as a father.
Oh yeah, we done forgot about my boy.
Yeah, I want to give him an opportunity to tell him what he's.
First off, I want to say Father's Day to all of the fathers in that kid,
Back.
because half of the battle was being there. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. It is what it is. But yeah, my proudest moments as a father, probably every morning when I wake up. Ready, I go, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, I don't know if we was as bitchy as my kids. So I got all girls. So you know, go, man.
Yeah, some more of my girls. Be careful.
It seems like Brandon Carr Chapter 2, Volume 1. I'm living it all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, Clea, get your shoes on, man. Get your shoes on. You know what I'm saying? And it's really a proud moment, even though it's frustrating, it gets on your nerves, but you it's like, I'm watching life at another perspective. I see you
Coach.
Hey, I knew once we gave it to him, bro.
Cause she is so much like him, like he was when he was her age.
Like Daddy said, I'm a daredevil, and
Yes.
that's me reincarnated, real talk. And a bull, but yeah. And then my other proudest moments is like, you know, whenever your kids have those life questions and they come up to you and they genuinely ask you a real question like, "Hey, Daddy, why does this do this?" You can just sit down and be like, blah blah blah. Whether it's right, wrong, whatever it is, they believe you. They think I'm super nigga. Real talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm
You
with
are,
it.
bro.
It's a proud moment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my proudest moment.
That's love. All right, I'm finna get a little controversial. Man, we ain't got controversial. I'm finna get a little controversial. Yo.
Here we go. Hold
Here
on.
we go. Hold on.
I got a question. I want to get y'all opinion about this. Black men, in my opinion, we're scared to be vulnerable, scared to talk about our feelings, and I think we're scared because we don't really have a safe place to do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have people saying it's okay to have your heart broken. It's okay to miss the chick. It's okay to be down that you lost your job. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to like be depressed. Like we ain't got nobody to say, and I did that, bro. I done went through that shit too. Bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to be really adamant about being that support or being that liberation for the guys I'm around. Like, tell me how you feel, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna tell you everything I feel. So you know what I'm saying? So they can feel like that. But my question is, fathers, who's more responsible for creating a safe place for men to be vulnerable? Is it women or the honeys, or is it the fellas or the homies? Whose responsibility is it? I asked Big Baby Boom. And he ain't give me his damn answer. So like, I ain't gonna tell you yet, bro, because I'm wait. So I want to hear from Big Baby Boom first, and you already got your answer. You already have the answer.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro.
A responsibility.
I think it's just you to be vulnerable. I mean, be you. Like, I don't feel like. I mean, I think it all plays a factor. You know what I'm saying, as far as your confidence and being you. But some people, like, that's why I gain liberation just watching a person who is liberated. Like, those are the people that people want to be. A person that's able to just be them, and the people, regardless of what they say, what they do, whether they cry, emotional, they love him regardless because they like, he's free. So I feel like, I mean, it's you. Like, that's up to you if you want to cry in front of another man. That's up to you. If you want to expose a certain thing to your wife or to your homeboys.
Yeah.
Like me, I feel like it comes with maturity sometimes too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the older you get.
Nah, that's cap, bro, because there's some old ass men.
Well,
it's some old ass men who still don't tell their daughter that they love them. And still don't give their daughters hugs, bro.
That's maturity,
that's
though,
sad.
bro. He ain't say age. He said maturity.
That's fact.
Right.
And they, bro, but
I was
even
dropping
if,
them gems, boy.
bro, even
Drop
if
gems, yeah.
And even if it's you, even if it's the black man's job to create his own safe place to be vulnerable, why are we lacking? Why ain't we creating that safe place for ourselves?
I just think it's just history of what we've been told.
Yeah.
To what makes a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as a kid, you guys think about it. Like, as a kid, when your son falls or get up, your reaction is not, son, are you okay? Son, it's gonna be all right. Therefore, the woman, man, it's usually like, boy, get up. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
So it's on the father then.
His father was taught that as well. So,
So it's on his.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
But
It's,
you're saying
it's
at
history.
some point become a man, you become mature. You realize
You be
that
sure of
I
yourself.
need,
You learn yourself.
So you don't you
Yeah.
shit, is it not your responsibility to teach your child? Because you know you mature, you know that it's safe to be vulnerable as a man.
Right.
It's okay. So once you get that liberation as a man and you get mature, should you not feed that into your child.
You
and
should.
I ain't necessarily just saying when a child falls and scrape their knee, tell them to get up and brush it off, because that's a different type of pain. That's physical pain. I do
Right,
think
right,
physical
right.
pain can be controlled by the mind.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But emotional pain, you can't tell a person to just brush emotional pain.
That's true.
Like
Right.
you got to teach your son how to deal with emotional
Harness it,
pain,
yeah.
and to do that, you got to teach him how to be vulnerable. You can't just be like, man, bro, you'll be all right. Get over her.
That's right.
We don't cry with no bitch. We don't cry with no hoes. Like,
Right.
you can't just say that.
Right. I
yeah,
just
I
feel
ain't
like
say that.
yeah, I feel like it has to be taught on both women and men. Both. I mean, we all play a factor into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
being of a person. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying. If I know you're gonna be a listener here, I probably will share some information with you, and
Yeah.
I know that you're not gonna judge me about what I tell you.
Exactly.
I think that's where it becomes weird, because oftentimes we're judged for things that we do and say more so than, that's just that person. That's why I'm like, as I mature now, I'll be like, I'm becoming less judgmental. And and oftentimes like, man, my mama had this like weird talk. I'll be like, have perspective also. Nah, it shouldn't be that way, and I'm kind of like, what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It makes life less stressful for you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I just think, yeah, bro, I just feel like it's up to you to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And I think it comes with maturity.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Honest, what you think, bro?
Well, my first thought was the homies, cause we tend to not express ourselves to a man. And if we do get vulnerable, it's with our lady. CJ put another perspective on really to who you choose to be vulnerable and open up to.
Exactly.
It's nobody's fault but yours. Can't really blame your situation. Can't blame your situation on your situation, because you are the manifestation of your. So,
But you're not the manifestation
better
of your
say-
situation.
Wait a
If
minute.
your father told you brush that off, and he made you tough, and he made you rough, and he made you not talk about your feelings.
That's where the maturity comes in.
yeah.
Become sure of yourself.
That takes time, bro.
Yeah, it do.
So, are we just trusting, or are we just hoping that dudes don't go into depression before they get mature?
That's the heroic battle. I mean, that's the heroic journey. Really, you got to go out there in the dark, and you gonna either make it or you not. That's the journey of a man. Really, you
Hey,
got
like I said earlier, though, bro. Like I said earlier, that's why I said Happy Father's Day to people that's in their kids' life. That 50% of the battle, like you got
Being
that person that you can go to, talk to, that'll walk you through it. You know what I'm saying? Which this took me a long time to actually grasp. Where like, hey, I need to go talk to my pops about this, because I can be vulnerable in this situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
It's
what
like,
made you want to be vulnerable to?
kept asking. He kept asking like, "Hey, come and talk to me."
And because he
You
asked,
know what I'm saying?
that he cared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Mhm.
Right. I mean,
Yeah. So it's like, I ain't saying you can't just be vulnerable all the time. Yeah, by no means. You know what I'm saying? But at certain times, hey, this guy I can go be vulnerable to. He ain't gonna judge me feeling this way.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I mean, that's just my.
I
That's
appreciate
a tear
that, bro.
moment
I
right there.
appreciate that. I appreciate it. Genius, bro. What you
Yeah,
think? What's
I ain't
your
gonna
opinion?
get credit.
Whose responsibility is it?
I'm gonna say it's on you, on the man. You know what I'm saying? And then again, on the other hand, I'm gonna say it depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because as a father, you have to be vulnerable to a certain extent. Because myself, I'm a little mixture of everybody in here. CJ and Brandon and Josh raising the men, and then you got BJ and Jonte, they're raising the women. So myself, I'm constantly doing that switch between I got my daughter right here. I got
Hats
these
off.
two
Hats
knucklehead
off
ass
to you.
boys right here, right behind it, you know what I'm saying? So it's a constant switch for myself, but
Man's, bro.
Say it's on the man.
Yeah,
It's on
it
you.
falls back to the man.
But I think that's like I said, it's always go back to maturity.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah.
Because I feel like as you grow, you become more sure of yourself.
Yeah.
And you understand that a person's opinion it's not the making of you. Oftentimes,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's like even when I always go back through I always go back through like childhood, and I think about moments in my life and where I was at, and why did I react the way that I did? Why didn't I do these things? And it lets me know I was in moments I wasn't sure of myself. I wasn't confident in myself, and I feel like I said, I feel like now that part of it though, like your parents, the woman and the man can build the confidence in a person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like like I mean, I don't know, like it's on yourself, but at the same time, some people need that confidence.
I don't know, man. I've had some
I
of
feel
my
like
most vulnerable moments with Tevin. Like, and it wasn't intentional. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we just sitting there rapping and it just came out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's important to have those conversations, these conversations, with men and with each other, because we all understand, because we all have our own journey.
Yes.
But it's similar in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I'm gonna piggyback on what Josh just said, and I'm gonna go out on the limb, and I feel like when the homies take responsibility,
It makes it easier.
you get it quicker. Now I say this: I live with my best friends 3 years, forced to be vulnerable in front of each other because we seen the women walking in and out the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We seen those emotional. We seen that bro laid off or bro ain't going. Like we seen that bro can't find a job. We seen that. So we was forced, and we at that point we was the only emotional support that each other had because of proximity. You know what I'm saying? We sleeping and we like bro would come in the room sometimes just like exhausted, just like lay on my bed. The only thing he can plug into at that moment.
Like it just goes back to support. Like it's a
Yeah.
person that I know that supports me and has my best interest in hand. That's who I'm able to be most
And I
vulnerable
think
to.
the more you do it, like the more, like me and bro, I feel like I got bromances with all, and that's crazy. and I love it. I feel like I have a bromance with all my friends because we're so close and we are so vulnerable. I feel like it was a process. You know what I'm saying? At first, all we would talk about is girls, I guess, and fucking girls. That was all we would talk about. But then it started to grow into, we actually started talking about, man, I actually like her. Then it started to grow into, man, I love her. Then it started to grow into, man, that was fucked up what she did. You know what I'm saying? Then it started to grow into, man, that hurt my feelings. Then it started to grow into, man, I'm down bad right now, bro. I'm thinking about her. I miss her. So the vulnerabilities, they just grow as they grow. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I think they grow, and because that I had those, like I'm 25 and I feel like I got it really early because I had them.
I'm gonna tell you what I think, man. It's like oftentimes what I learned through life, that we all have similar feelings towards things, man.
That's
And that's why I feel like it's easy for me to be vulnerable now. Like, like even when you was a kid, you was scared to be like, man, I farted.
Yeah.
Like now I just be like, man, hey,
Hey,
that was
ducks.
you, bro. Like nigga, it's natural, bro. Go ahead, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say I think it's
You know what I
important.
mean? Like to be vulnerable, but like, hey, like even in conversations, like, man, bro, some niggas will start flexing, like, I was getting some, and you act like you done hit. Hey, like we have moments where a man be like, man, my dick didn't get hard. That shit not happening to a lot of men, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't.
That's right.
You know what
Y'all
I'm
most
saying?
happy
But
birthday.
people
That's
want
a
to be
good thing,
vulnerable
so
about it.
Love
But
y'all most happy.
but I think that
birthday.
just comes with
Thanks.
maturity and
Appreciate
knowing
it.
being in them situations though.
But,
Like,
bro, I feel that's all situational, bro. Because like
situational.
things change as you grow, bro. Like I remember me and Aunt Bug. It was always bros before hoes, but I put this on my Lord, Ashley before anything in this room right now. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's situational.
I feel like in our
As
group,
you grow in life, whoever you grow with, whoever you can put your trust in. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I could tell Ashley anything right now. you know what I'm saying, and everything good, you know what I'm saying. I might have just killed somebody, God forbid it happens, but I be like, hey, shorty, hey, this
He didn't say
happened.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Bad watch.
Real talk. Hey, shorty, and she'll be damn like, so what we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gonna do.
You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
it's like,
That's kind of chick I like.
And I think because we was probably me and my niggas was probably hoeing. Cause I was hoeing at the same
No,
time.
don't say
Well,
y'all.
like-
I wasn't on y'all. Ain't had nothing to do with that.
Uh-oh.
Ain't had nothing to do with that.
Because we was dealing with the same, we was in the same path of life we was going through. Like we was even like we never said that bros before hoes. Like,
Nah.
like I always would tell my nigga like, bro, I ain't
Hey.
gonna touch you the way she touch you. So
Nah, bro.
go over her. You know what I'm saying? Go kick it with her, bro. Like she is the priority because all I can do is talk to you, dap you up. I know she can touch you, man. She real vulnerable and so I'm not even gonna act like
That
it's
is
bros
kind of
before
whack,
hoes.
bros. Fuck.
Yeah, that's some
Nah.
whack ass, some gay ass
Listen.
shit to me.
Listen,
Yeah.
though.
Well, I guess
Well,
we
really-
just say the term hoe.
Well, if you think about it, just listen to what 11 was saying. It goes back to what CJ said. It's up to the man. Even though you confiding in your homeboy, you still choosing as an individual to be vulnerable to J-Bo or to Heck or to Honest.
But I think Jonte made an important point when he said that the reason why he was vulnerable to you was because you inquired.
Yeah.
You asked.
Yeah,
So
and
at the end
I
of the
think
day,
that
I only believe who cares about me by
That's
who's
true.
inquiring about me.
right.
Like if you continuously asking me questions about my life, what's going on with you, bro, then I'm
Yeah.
gonna feel more vulnerable around you. So I guess at the root of that question is who's gonna care more? Are the brothers gonna care more? Are the brothers gonna be
But
asking
I think you
what's going on?
it depends on, you got to know the person too.
Yeah, I mean,
Because some people might come with wanting information, but they're not gonna spread your information, and you gotta be. That's why I say you still gotta be careful who you're vulnerable to, because they ask and inquire about things don't mean that they have your best interest at hand.
well, you have to learn to discern too.
That's
I mean,
right.
exactly.
But we talking about the homies and the honey. We ain't talking about just no regular people. We talking about people you
Right.
trust.
I mean, but
The
sometimes
homies and the
sometimes your homies they have certain qualities that's good, but then with certain homies,
the
I
same
just
thing
can't tell you
Yeah.
certain things.
Is that the same thing about your lady, or is that
Or
just
he's
about
not
your
gonna.
homie?
Guess if you got more than one lady.
Or
Yeah.
even if you just got one lady, are you telling your lady everything?
Well, being with the same woman 30 years, over 30 years, I will say, I feel like I can tell her anything, but I don't tell her everything because some things that a man can carry, and I mean, you're talking about a father, a husband, it kind of shifts because she can't take it.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm
wisdom,
saying?
though. That's wisdom on
Yeah,
your
so
part.
I mean, that's when you shift to your homeboy, and it ain't that she's lesser of a support.
Right.
It's just that at that point you have to know that it's this struggle I can't share with her because she may not be able to bear it.
Right. That's true.
So I think it's like Jonte said, it just depends on the circumstance.
Right.
And the struggle. I think it shifts. And I don't think you put the responsibility on either your lady or your homeboys. Because I mean,
That's right.
I think that pendulum it shifts.
Like I don't think you can't be totally vulnerable to your homeboys. Like
What if
you can't tell them everything.
What do you mean
It's
by totally
something.
vulnerable, bro?
I mean, I just, like John, like it goes back to what John takes situational, bro.
Yeah.
Certain things you just can't spread to your homeboy, and certain things that you just can't spread to
Can
your
you give me an
woman.
example?
You
I
can't
don't know
spread
too many
every
things I
struggle
ain't
with your
telling
girl
Taylor.
with your homeboys, with every homeboy. Now, I will say that.
That ain't your, in my opinion, that ain't your homeboy. You know what I mean? If your homeboy,
I see what you're
if
saying.
your homeboy across you in that way, if your homeboy gonna cross you in that way
I don't think
without
they
talking
will.
to you, all my homeboys and some of my homeboys done fuck some of the girls I fucked, but all of my homeboys came and talked to me. All of my homeboys said, bro, you kind of been hitting me up. We kind of been hitting each other up. how you feel about that? They
This
gave
is
me an
so
opportunity. So like, if they, I mean, and I was like, yeah, bro,
Y'all generation ain't no different from our generation.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to this, and I'm just like, I'm thinking about stuff I used to talk to Scrap, aka Doug Corpman,
right.
and this is, I mean, I'm sitting here like tripping. This generation talks so much about being so much of a generational gap, and I'm like, the game is the same.
You know what? And that's why I'm telling Tevin what I'm learning. Just as you mature, you begin to look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You're looking at it from a more mature perspective than when you was in it. You don't see it the same way that you saw it when you're outside of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's the main thing that's really going on. It's not that they want to critique the young. I'm like, bro, y'all was there at one time. Y'all just didn't see it the way that you see it now. Like some of the things that we did do, like
Yeah.
we were foolish too.
Yeah.
Like I was telling them, like,
And I'll tell you real quick, if you can't learn anything from a old head,
right,
I mean, right now you young,
right,
and I think that's foolish.
right.
But there's old fools too, because
Exactly.
I see some people that I was kicking it with back in the day, and they stuck back in the day. They just old fools, man, because they never wanted to listen. I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, the more I listen, I mean, it's funny to me because I'm listening to this and I'm like, these are some of the same kicking it moments that we had. Now, granted, there is some difference, but it's all in the same. The energy is, I think the energy is stronger now. That's why you need to have the old and the young come together, because it creates this energy in the room. But you know what? You have to listen too. You have to be able to listen to one another,
I agree.
because it's everything is voided if everybody's in here trying to be right about something.
Right.
Exactly.
You really have to.
Nothing.
Yeah, you
I
really.
gotta use the Socratic method when you're politicking with your homies.
Here we go.
I always suggest
You got to spell that out for us.
I always suggest you use the Socratic method when talking to your homies. And the Socratic method is, your homie says something, you tell him what you think you heard him say first, so your homie knows how his words translated to you. Okay?
Right.
That'll work in
Then you
marriage.
also speak in questions, so that your homie has to search himself in order to give you a response. Don't always speak in statements, because then your homie just gonna try to prove your statement wrong. Or prove your statement right.
Yeah.
A lot of times speak questions inquisitive, because that makes your homie search himself. And I also learned that the quickest way to get people interested is to act interested. The quickest way to get you interested in me, I act interested in you.
That's crazy. It's a Socratic method. We use that in a lot of psychology.
Yeah.
Working in the group homes and
That's
stuff. That's
Yeah.
The last time I came from, that was the method. So what you're telling me?
Yeah. Socratic, bro.
So let's
You learn
let's
that
talk
in
about.
law school.
You ask them questions
Mhm.
and draw them, and you put them like you putting them back where they was at. So you telling me you feel this way because.
And that's why law was all done in
questions.
Even when you're trying to testify, you gotta ask them questions. So you was there at 5 o'clock, right? That's a question. It's like
Right.
inquisitive. Instead of saying you was there at 5 o'clock, we got evidence.
Right.
You was there at 5 o'clock. They start telling their story. They start rambling.
Yeah.
You know, they told on they.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
So,
folding.
Telling
For
their
real,
damn
man.
self. Facts, man. Anybody else want to speak? I ain't give mine what I thought. What I'm hearing is everybody saying that it's on you.
Yeah, it's on you. You got to surround yourself around. I think it's on that man to surround himself around those people that they know have their best interests. You know, so it really is on you,
Male or female?
male or female, because you got to make
Hitting
that
it or not
choice.
hitting it?
But I feel like you are taught. You're taught that.
Taught what?
No,
Nah, that's something you
not
gotta learn for
always
yourself,
now.
bro.
Because only thing I did when y'all brought people to the house was find out who they were. You know.
That's cap.
I was like, what's your
Who
name?
your people?
Yeah.
Who your mama? Who your
That's
grandmama? So
That's
what's on
cap.
your mind?
Now it's starting to get a little truth. Now we getting there.
So
Now
that's
we
what
getting
I
there.
did. I
Now we
mean,
getting there. You
and
wasn't just asking who. You wasn't just asking who. You was letting us know
yeah,
how you felt, your discernment. Now you let us do what we was gonna do, but you still gave your warnings.
yeah,
Like you was still like, now I don't. You let us know I don't feel right about him. Or I don't feel right about
yeah.
him. So like you was still like letting us know how your feelings. Still letting us know your feelings in response to Josh. I look at myself when I try to answer that question, and I know you say that you got to do it yourself. I feel like you fight the beast yourself, and you tarry with the beast yourself. But it's somebody else that kind of thrusts you in front of the beast or makes you look at the beast. Something happened in your life that makes you look at the beast, that makes you understand I'm out here on my own, and I got to do this for myself. For me, it was a breakup that had me damn near depressed. And I was really, really low. I was really low. You know what I'm saying? But I called on my parents. I called on my parents because at that point, I knew I really wasn't where I was at spiritually to be having faith in prayers anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't have enough faith in myself, but I knew my mama had faith. I knew my mama had that kind of faith.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And I knew my daddy had that. I knew my daddy had. He knew how to talk to me in a way to where he was guiding me, but he used a soft, manly voice. I don't really know how to categorize it, but it was a soft, manly voice that was like, it let me know it was okay, but he was still like setting a standard as a man, like, okay, you got to gather yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're going through. Like, I wouldn't have done that had I not had somebody to plug into. Like, I don't, Lord knows what would have happened to me had I not had had they not answered the phone when I called them crying.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I'm a spiritual person, right?
Come on.
Sometimes I always just feel like it's God speaking. When you talking about you can't describe your daddy's voice at that moment, no, that'd be God speaking. Sometimes they don't be the natural us.
Everybody can't go to their daddy though.
And then sometimes God is send, and sometimes God will send you to like your brothers in moments because that's what you need
So
at
it's
that
God
moment.
then.
That's the God, bro.
That's what he.
The vessel, that's the vessel He wants to use. That's how God works. Like when it pours and it uplifts
So
you.
when you say it's you, are you saying it's you or are you saying it's God?
Both.
it's
Both, but I mean-
but I allow God to use me though.
No, he ain't using you. He's the vessel.
I'm just a vessel.
You
That's what we
gotta-
are.
Well, when I'm talking about as far as being vulnerable, your safe place to be vulnerable. He uses somebody else to show you that there's a safe place to be.
I'm just talking about a situation.
Let's pull the entities closer together.
Yeah.
You could say it's God in him because we are God-like.
Right.
And I mean, that's just what it is.
Take that hand out.
That's just what it is right there.
I say
Yeah.
take that. I say take that. I say take that hand out.
Yeah.
Because like, where you getting the answers, but from the inside of you. And where you get like you realize that every answer you get, regardless of how you see, you realize that answer. You don't really learn nothing. You realize like when it comes to spirituality, you read a bunch of shit, At the end of the day,
Well,
you realize that it's like it's entertainment.
let me clarify something. I said God in us. I didn't say and. It's the God in us. Is where I was going with it. I said because we need to quit separating them, quit putting distance in between it.
Right.
Now I know that could be up for a debate, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people scared to like to talk in that stead.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're more powerful than we actually give
I
give credit for. Yeah.
Right. That's real.
And I can tell you, sometimes when I get a call, whether it be from 11 or Tay, because I can think back to previous calls. And if I messed up a call, if I went straight to directives and it didn't really come out right, and might have put them to where they're like standoffish, I don't want to do that again.
Right.
So one thing I've learned in the past years is I can, as I let him talk, and as he's talking, I'm digging. Now, I'm listening, but I'm also digging in myself to say, all right, I need something. I need to give him something. He don't need me fixing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I call it talking them off a cliff.
Right.
And what I'll do, I'll just listen. And then once he's like poured out, then I wait to that silent moment, and then I speak. And all along I'm praying to myself, all right, because sometimes it has been really, really bad.
Right.
I mean, I've witnessed some things just with my wife and Tay at a really vulnerable moment, and I can't even tell y'all for y'all to actually get it. But I saw the greatest power of nurturing a mom can give a grown son that's towering over her nearly a foot, to where when he came to us, we knew he was hurt, and he didn't want to stay there because he was really emotional. And one thing I respected him for, because he wanted to leave, but we didn't want him to leave. And he said, just please let me leave because I don't want to be disrespectful. And then it's at that point we made a decision as parents. We ain't worried about what we want to hear is your heart.
Right.
And we had to stop him from leaving. But then I watched his mom just hug him. And he just let all of his emotions out to the point to where he didn't want to hug her back. It's almost like he felt like he didn't want to give that negativity to his mama. But she kept telling him, I'm not going to let you go. And I knew this woman was praying. And I knew it was the power in her. And then I saw him go from towering over her to where he slumps over her, to where I saw whatever energy that had him bound just took flight.
Ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Had mama not done that, had mama not,
You remember what I'm talking about.
had mama not took it upon herself to bring that vulnerability out of your son, he was by himself on his own as a man, leaving the house like he wanted to leave the house.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the same outcome would have happened, and he would have had that safe place, or he would have found that safe place to be?
No, it was to the point to where, and this is without telling the whole story. It was to a point to where I felt like if my son would have left that house, and it wasn't for me to step in. What I did was after she had conquered it, then I stepped in, and then we began to talk. Then we walked in the studio, and then we're in there laughing. It was crazy, and it was like I could have wrote a script, but you still wouldn't have got it.
Right.
I would have needed Hollywood and everything to make this. Yeah, it was
okay.
Kevin question though, bro. On some real talk. Okay, say mama, it didn't happen the way it did. Say if it didn't happen the way it did, and I did leave. I mean, the outcome happened that way because that's the way God intended it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I mean, even if I didn't eat off of that, Daddy did and Mama did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the way it had to go down. You know what I'm saying? I might have would have went somewhere else and cooled down and been perfectly fine, but that's the way it went down
God
that
had to
way.
provide them that peace.
Exactly.
Yeah, we refused to let it happen. But
we
part
all
of
connected, man. I know we say it's all on the individual of who he go to be vulnerable, but if we look at it even deeper, we're all connected spiritually. So that spirit is gonna, that yearning in that one spirit is gonna click on that other spirit, and somehow they're gonna connect just by the act of God. We don't understand how that happens, or can't explain it, but
God,
that's
man.
God, unexplainable,
It's
omnipotent,
unexplained. Yeah,
omnipresent.
can't explain it, bro. No matter how hard you try, I just recognize it's him.
Yeah,
That's
Whenever
all
he
you can
show
do.
up. When,
So it ain't really the God in us, it's the
It's a spirit. It's a spirit.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
Because
nature.
God in us is God. Well, God in us is God in everybody.
Right.
God in us got to recognize God in somebody else in order for you to be vulnerable around them.
take another hit of that LSD. You can take it that deep and say that God is everything.
No, God is, I agree. But I'm hitting that with you. So let's don't take that trip. Like,
Yeah.
God is every. Okay, so it is
Yeah,
God. It's up to God, and if it's up to God, then I guess
Our job is to trust Him, trust the resources He sends us to decipher, discern, and to trust the God in us.
And discernment is very important.
Yeah, and that's your confidence, your trust in yourself,
I think I always say when
or
it's
the
him,
God in yourself.
it's undeniable, bro. I don't
Oh,
care
yeah.
who you are. A lot of times,
Yeah.
you can be a demon, bro. When
Regardless
God
of the
show up, it's either you gonna run or you gonna listen,
And
bro.
that's if He lets you run.
So like that's your only two options. Either you gonna listen or you gonna run, bro.
but you still got the option.
That's okay. But you gonna if
Yeah,
you
he
don't
don't force
listen,
nothing.
you gonna pay
I
for
mean,
it.
you
bro.
got an option, but it's limited.
It's limited, yeah.
Run or listen.
Run or listen. That's it. Now, which one you want to do? Run and have no peace, or listen and bring yourself some peace.
But you don't know. You don't know. Listen and bring you. It's gonna bring you to. Bro, God.
When
is,
it's,
God
I'm
is
saying when it's
retrospective,
God,
bro.
not just when it's anybody. When it's God.
God is you, but God. A lot of times, God is retrospective. God is in hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20. A lot of times, we like that was God. That's what that's what
Yeah.
that when we looking back.
I
But
see
in
what
the
you're saying.
midst of it, we ain't like, yo, this is God happening.
That's true. That's true. I can agree with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's always looking.
But
back.
sometimes he'll still plant that seed, and that seed's still
Hey.
gonna be with you, though.
Who knows you can get that strong, bro? You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can be that strong to be like, oh, this is God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's possible. I mean, that's the whole purpose in this journey, to learn God, to know God. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, this is God and this is not. I mean, discernment,
Well,
like that he
everything is
said.
God according to.
It
So you can
is,
say this
but
about
okay,
everything.
I put
okay.
that-
Somebody
I
can
count
lead
that,
you
yeah.
in
It's true.
a bad direction, and
That's still
you
God.
gonna be like, no, that's not in God's will. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's still God
But
because
still
that's a
God, that person
test.
trying to lead you.
That
It's
might
still
not
God.
be. Might not be what you would so called good, but it's still
God.
God, and God works for the good.
Right.
No
So
matter
when
if it's
we
a
say
bad
God is good,
situation.
should we say God is good and bad?
I would say He's everything.
Right. So because when you say good, when you say the word good, you
You have to-
you create the
bad.
opposing opposite, which is bad. So if you say God is good, you gotta say God is bad.
Yeah.
Nah,
because you
cause
can't-
he said he
you
told you in
can't-
the beginning. He said everything that he created was good, bro.
my God,
It's all good. Like
We'll say God
bad,
allows bad. We're not gonna say God is bad. We'll say God allows bad for us to grow.
Well, who has control of that bad?
God.
I mean, he allows bad,
Well, who
but he
creates
sent
that bad?
Jesus to die for us.
I think we
so
got
that
it. I
we
think
don't-
we
All right,
twisting
you
it. We
digging
twisting it up.
I mean,
We making bad relative like bad even exists. Bad
Right.
doesn't exist. God is good. God is everything.
So
We put a
everything is
perspective
good.
on everything,
Yeah.
creating the bad, but everything is good from the beginning to the end.
So even the stuff we call
But what is bad?
It's
That's what I was
good.
gonna say. What is
The
bad?
stuff that we calling bad
It's
is our
still good.
perspective. It ain't God's perspective because God meant for everything to be good.
Right.
We make everything bad.
What is bad? We made it bad.
Whatever's bad, it's your
We made that
perspective of bad.
Yeah.
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 It's all
So natural
perspective.
disasters is
Your
good.
bad might not be my
Babies
bad.
dying, all that's good.
All-
Ain't nothing bad. Murder is good.
I mean, if we say
But we
But
manifested
in
that. We
man's
manifested
perspective,
it.
it is, because I mean, that's why every continent has a military. And
We
at any given
manifested
time,
war.
can
We
just go wipe
manifested
out shit.
rape.
You know what I'm saying? And it's legal. You know what I'm saying? We can just go kill shit, and it's legal. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I mean, like you said, it's all in perspective. I mean, Muslims believe that maybe however they believe, you know, however they want to believe, but that's just the way they was taught. You know what I'm saying? We was taught this way. At the end of the day, it all comes down to
Man, what I tell y'all last week, bro?
God.
God,
your
I'm gonna
relationship
tell you
with
to
God.
make this thing simple, bro. If God got a set order, and the way that He has things in order, it's gonna correct itself every time. So whether you make this bad decision, what we consider bad decision, it's gonna correct itself because it's God. God has put everything in order, bro. And the way that He has it designed, it's gonna correct itself because He has designed it that way. That's how it is.
Did it just shift in here or something?
It did.
I'm just
It
wondering.
did, right?
Good topic.
I'm just wondering.
It did.
That's a real good statement,
I
CJ.
feel like it's
that's
balanced. Well,
that was a
That's
balanced
order, bro.
statement,
It's just
but,
order
like,
itself. Except
the
God
order
has His order. He has things in order. It ain't for us to try to fix it.
yo, it
You
ain't
can't
even
do
our
it. That's what
order.
make us go crazy because we trying to correct His order, and that's the chaos that's going on in the world
I
because
think
we're trying to
to
correct
create
His order.
another order. I
Yeah,
don't think
you
we're
can't
trying
do
to
it.
correct it. I just think we're trying to go against it.
Yeah,
so I feel like we
Yeah,
trying to
that's-
create order, and a lot of times we say that's God,
Yeah.
but it be human doctrine. It be man,
That's true.
man teaching, man
True.
tradition. But we say this is God. God meant for it to be this way.
Right.
But it's really what we meant. We meant for it to be this way. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm with
that's
you, bro.
true.
That's legit, and that's
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 true.
why I'm
that's
also
a
about
balanced
like
statement more than
But if we say God is in control of all things, then He meant for it to be that way.
right.
He's just manifesting through us, whether it's good or bad. But that's the way He meant for it to be. So at the end of the day, it's important to trust His plan and just live it day by day. Be the best man you can be, and just trust God. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you have no choice.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, you
use
have a
your
choice.
Mind, though. You gotta use your mind. That's what we fail to do. We think, as Christians, that we just gotta sit there and trust that God's gonna make something happen. But your mind, God,
You got to get it yourself.
yeah, you have to train your mind to manifest what you want. God is gonna give you the resources whenever you start working towards it. Just like the Bible say, faith without works is dead. You have to work your mind to train your body to go get what you need. We gotta call in.
Yeah. Call in.
Bro, it almost seemed like we it almost seemed like we live in a movie. And
Wow.
God is Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like he already know everything that's gonna happen. And we just
He wrote the
on
ending.
for, yeah, we all in a show right now.
That's what it is. No control.
It better not end like Game of Thrones. I'm gonna be mad.
He just chill.
I'm gonna be hot.
That's
Like,
why
look
I
at
say-
him down there.
That's why I say the question in itself is the prison. The fact that we ask the question, what is God, puts
Yeah.
us in the prison of trying to figure him out. We put ourselves in the prison of trying to figure him out.
You lost. It's like
Lost.
I'm gonna
It's
say it
because
one more
he's already
time.
said he's already
God
said that you
body.
don't figure him out.
you don't.
If you already know you're not gonna figure him out, why would you?
Right. The only thing, the job is to just
Call in, Maurice.
Seek
recognize
from
him when
him.
you see him.
Facts.
It's not to try to figure out, guy. You setting yourself up for a losing battle.
I
trying
see
to
for
understand
direction.
God, or trying to
And make it swift
get
though.
all aspects to make it swift.
No, I ain't talking. I'm talking. He was talking about he was wanting to call in, but he don't know what the timing like.
Come on, call
Okay,
in,
go
bro.
ahead,
Man,
Go ahead,
call
bro.
in, call in,
Get
man.
off, but go ahead, man. We'll go a little longer. Man. We got somebody in here.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody
man.
chiming in, man. It's a good conversation.
Yeah, call in, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
My phone died.
Yeah, I say that when you start to ask the question, a lot of times when I start asking questions, I like to tell myself, bro, why you bothered? Why you want to know?
Right.
Like, is it really gonna bring you more peace, or is it gonna bring you another question?
Yeah, like what does it really
You know what I'm
matter?
saying? Like, why it matter? Like,
in this relative
why you want?
experience right now.
And also, God gonna give you that answer. Man.
Or is it worth the time?
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll start laughing at yourself because the answer be so simple. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
you playing games with yourself a lot of times.
Too.
You lied to yourself. You really don't want to hear. You know the answer, but you don't want to hear that answer.
It ain't really no answers if it's order. It's just.
You know what I'm saying, but that's why I say it's already there.
So
It's
it ain't
just,
really no question. Ain't no question. Ain't no answer. It's just
you playing games.
realization.
Yep, that's what it is.
Or
Accept
recognition,
it.
like you realize what's going on. Ain't no answer to your question. Ain't no answer to how to get out of this or how to heal yourself. Ain't no answer. Realize life, what's happening, life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's it, bro.
you just real everything retrospective. Everything is in memory. Everything is hindsight's 2020. I've learned, or I'm wiser now. You know what I'm saying? So it really ain't no thing. I think it's start asking the questions. Yeah, you start losing your peace.
That's heavy right there.
Start asking.
House. You gotta seek.
Hmm?
You gotta seek. But I guess it's
I don't
depends
feel
on
like
what
you
you're
gotta seek
seeking.
to unlearn the stuff that's been drilled into you and taught to you and learn.
No, I think you have to seek to build. I mean, we don't build houses like we did back in 1920s.
Right.
I mean, even the guys that's building now, I mean, look at the technology is a lot better. I mean, you still have to seek to build stronger. I mean, that's the way I see it.
And I agree with you though. That's why I feel like God created us as a vessel to do His work, bro. He's instilled the power in us, but He trusts us to for Him to be good. We're here to make sure that He's glorified, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's always gonna be a set. It's
if
ordered.
God is in us, then who gets the glory? God in us does the work. Are we talking about? I mean, people can't see on there, but you pointing up. Are we? And Pop talked about separating ourselves.
Right.
Are we still trying to glorify something that we are separating from ourselves?
I think we separate ourselves from everything. We give ourselves a kind of, I guess, dominion and a kind of, we hold ourselves entitlement to everything when everything is everything. We're not separated. We're
What would
just
you
as
say to the people who say
That's
the
the
Bible
that's
says that we have
complicated.
dominion over everything and we are responsible?
I say, we're responsible but not entitled. We're responsible because we had a choice to step out of the laws of nature. We have the choice to go against the laws of nature. Not every living creature does it except us. So that is that gives us the dominion to, I guess, be guardians over this land, but not be entitled because God gets the glory. The creator, not us. The creation.
That is the hard part, bro. The separation.
Yeah.
He says, God, was it just we are Him in the flesh? Like, oh man.
Nah, bro,
Like
we
the
still
whole
going in there, bro. We
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yourself-
deep in
to
there
put
now,
your-
bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's thick, though.
Let's go down that
Go
rabbit
ahead.
hole.
Like just to put yourself
That's
in.
the thing.
The simple fact that He created it. I'm saying if He allowing it to happen, He allowing me to be harder and learn. This is out because it's not a new trick. And like I said, it's not a new trick. God knows all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we getting smarter or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's all God.
What you just said, bro. God knows all. We don't. That's why we can't be held. We can't.
Are you separating God when you say we don't? Are you
He pinning you down,
God
and
is in us,
I'm kind of
God knows all and God is in
I'm
us,
with
then we
Tevin.
do know all. We just gotta
But
realize.
listen, a quote is the universe is in the antworm, but the antworm is far from being the universe. God is in us, but we aren't God because we was created. God wasn't created. God was He is the creator. He is everything, but we have to give the glory to God because our egos, ourselves, will set itself above everything else. We will.
Oh, he hungry. Are you still saying that the glory we given is, I guess, an existential God, something that is
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from us.
No, it is. It is us, but it is external because it is producing. It's producing.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's not. It's
Welcome
not
to Academy on there, man. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
Who about to put over there?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bro. We're trying to get you on the speaker. You're a little
Hold
low
on
right
one
now.
second. All right, hold on.
Hello?
Still there?
I hit him off.
Who was it?
Yeah, what's good, bro? My bad. I don't know what I did wrong with the cord. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I did wrong with the cord, but I guess I know I'm asking questions and I'm the one saying that you should question. The question is the prison. But it's saying that God is outside of us.
No, I'm
Or
saying
that-
God is everything. So He's in us, outside of us, cause everything. So you can't separate yourself. Like it's putting a water drop inside of the ocean. You can't separate the water drop out from the ocean, because that water drop becomes the ocean. We was placed down on this earth.
So when the water drop glorifies the ocean, does the water drop?
Everything that has
I-
breath.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Well, I ain't telling me.
But we all
I had a question on mine.
You gotta take out a.
If we don't praise him, the rocks will.
And the question is, why it's so hard? Why is it so hard for men to open up
What
and
you see,
express their
mosquito?
feelings?
Why is it so hard, man?
And then
There you go.
somebody else came back and added, I would like to hear this question. She's my husband is so prideful.
Yo.
What's good, man? This is Academy on there. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay. I got a question.
Okay.
Why is this answer really?
The question is, why is it so hard for men to really open up and express their feelings? It kind of piggybacks on, the first question I asked you.
Yeah.
That's a certain man.
It's not. That's a certain man.
Yeah.
It's not every man.
There's a certain man, but I could say that certain man may been been raised that way.
Just because he's
you
not-
got
Y'all
to know
gotta
his
quit
background.
putting it on raising.
You got
Now
to know his
listen,
background though.
because if you think about my father, he was a communicator, but he communicated more by doing and showing you by example. Now that's why I say you can't say it's how a man was raised.
Right.
But I'm a very I'm big on communication, even when it comes to relationships, my marriage, or with my relationships with like my homeboys. I'm big on communication because I'm like, if it's all on the platter
Yeah.
and everybody's sitting there,
Right.
then we decipher. But if it's hard for the man you may be dealing with to communicate or to express himself, I think you have to provide, I don't want to say platform. You have to give him, you have to create the atmosphere that where he can actually trust. Even if he grew up like being an introvert, I still think that can be conquered with the right relationship and the right companion.
You can.
As
But
he
you know what?
said.
I think a lot of times if you're dealing with an individual that operates in that way, where he doesn't express himself oftentimes, oftentimes probably dealing with a damaged individual.
Yeah, he could be.
And oftentimes it's something that has happened in the background that he doesn't trust. He's
bro. It can be a trend too, though. Like, you cannot have
it's rare though.
You cannot have a avenue to be vulnerable your entire life. Like, you cannot have emotional support.
But she was saying like
your
he
entire life.
like this man's been in a relationship with a chick that never like truly opened herself up to you. Like,
right, and that could be because something happened to her. One thing happened to her that was traumatic, or that would be because she felt emotionally abandoned her entire life, and that would have something.
That's what I'm saying. It's a deeper issue. That's why I'm saying it's a deeper issue all the way around. Like, it's something that went on in the past.
Yeah, that's what I meant by race.
Because that's not a natural behavior, bro. Like, I feel like naturally we are expressive, and if you minimize yourself and expressing yourself it's oftentimes, if you went and did a study on this, oftentimes it was something that was damaging happening to them in their past, bro.
Are you saying damaging like an event?
It was something. Yeah, it was an event. Something happened.
So they should go back in the past. This ain't working.
But and oftentimes, and that's like a demon. Oftentimes they don't want to go revisit that place, bro. They go through life wearing this mask. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go revisit that place, bro. It was like you said, it was traumatic. And trauma is a hard thing to. That's why I think. That's a common thing in our community, bro. Like, it's a lot of trauma that has happened, and people have a difficult time. I mean, they can't express. It's traumatic. They don't want to revisit that, bro. That feel the damage that was done in that moment. Like, from little girls getting molested to little boys getting molested to abuse to. It's a lot
if it's an event in the past that makes you. If we're naturally all vulnerable, that's what we're naturally. We are naturally all vulnerable. We all want to express ourselves, and it's an event in our life that makes us shut down our vulnerabilities. You're telling me it's our responsibility to go back and visit that when you're saying a lot of people don't want to go and visit
that individual. In order to free themselves, they're going to have to.
You know how they say you have to forgive the person. You have to take the power back from the person that may have hurt you.
Right.
Hurt you or whatever. Or you have to take your power back.
Do you realize you got to take the power yourself when somebody told your academy on there was good. Who am I speaking with?
That was good. That was good. It's just
What's good, bro?
No, and I seen y'all talking about, fathers, and I see y'all touch on a lot of great, you feel me, points. Right. I just want to talk about it.
What's up, man? Give us what you got, bro. What's your opinion?
Man, our father's role in kids' life is very important, you feel me? Right. And that's like your man said, like, that's a lot of people out here being traumatized, so it's hard for them to, you feel me? A lot of people look at their character and they judge them off for how they living, but the way they was raised is how the way they live in their life. You feel me?
That's what they know.
Mm-hmm. Right. You don't know nothing but
like
what you talk.
And then sometimes they put on that mask.
Yeah.
They walk around with a mask.
It's a mask for survival, really, because it's done became a part of them after a while. They don't live that life. They, even though it may not be them, they may be a violinist, supposed to go to some major art school, but their lifestyle, the life that the current situation gave them a lifestyle of.
Yeah.
So who do you think? Why do you think it's hard for men to be vulnerable or men to show their feelings?
It takes some men to grow faster than others. You feel me? Depending, like, some women help men mature in their life.
That's right.
So, like, a lot of men out here, like, they probably haven't become a man yet because they probably ain't met that right woman in their life yet. You feel me? It's sad to be like that, but it's a lot. It's a lot of it's not only the fathers that's got a bad job of raising children, but it's also women. You feel me? Or maybe what they done been through in their life and how men treated them. They so worried and they so much in their emotions that they forget to raise their children
Gotcha.
the
So
right
do you
way.
feel it's the
And that's the
woman's
reason why
responsibility?
that's the reason why a lot of women out here so hurt and looking for a man that they don't need in their life when they should love themselves because their father never loved them.
That's real.
So you feel like it's the woman's responsibility to create that avenue of vulnerability.
Say that question again.
I said, so you feel like it is the woman's responsibility to create that avenue of vulnerability to the man.
In some way, yes, because the man has been damaged so much. Like it takes two to make things work. You feel me? We have to help each other. It's not just for the women to do. We have to allow our women to help us be better men. Some of us, you feel me? Because a lot of men out here is hurt, and it's a lot of women out here hurt also. So
Absolutely.
we can't say like it depends on who the person is, like, because it's women out here that need guidance and it's men that need guidance also. But instead of women to look at a man that needs guidance and they won't deal with him, and you know sometimes that's wrong. It's sad that men have to go through that because some men haven't had guidance in their life and they may need a woman to guide them. And most women nowadays, they'll look at a man like that, and you feel me, they'll judge him like he ain't shit. You feel me? He need to get on his shit instead of trying to actually help that person. She gonna talk down on him.
100,
I gotta
man.
cut you off, bro. We appreciate you tuning in, bro, and calling in and giving us them keys, bro. Keep on listening.
Hey, so I got a
You already know.
Yeah, that's love.
female on my line who said, okay, I'm a communicator to heart, but it's like a struggle to get mine to open up. Like, what am I doing wrong? It's hard, and it makes me shut down.
Just stop shutting down.
It's not. You know what? It's difficult, bro.
It is, but
It requires therapy. I mean, honestly.
but what
And
is
you're not a
No,
third.
bro, that can't-
therapy, bro?
Yeah.
Relationships and love are organic if it needs a third party for it to work. We can't be saying we're out here organically vulnerable and organically expressive if we need a third party for you to facilitate.
That's true. That's
Like, if
true.
it's
I
in
can agree
us,
with you,
it's
bro.
in
Yeah,
us.
you're
If
right.
it ain't-
Maybe
it
maybe I said it wrong. Now, it might not need therapy, but
I'm thinking you.
But do you
Man,
think
Paul-
could it be the wrong woman sometimes?
It's just the
so I
wrong
think-
woman,
I
man.
think where we fall short when it comes to relationships, bro, we expect everyone to last forever, and and when it don't, and when we get signs that this shit ain't gonna last forever, we don't jail. We try to make it work instead of just taking it as an answer. We just don't be
It's
real
not
with
it.
ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So you feel a woman that you can't be totally vulnerable? That's not your.
why would you be? Why, bro? Because I always say for men are raised in an extreme. We're raised to be super, super manly, super masculine. And if you can't find a woman to be your spiritual or emotional oracle, then you got to explore your own feminine. If you're on your own, and you got to do what you got to explore your own feminine. So, yeah, unless you're exploring your own feminine, which a lot of men ain't trying to do, because I talk about that too, bro. You got to explore your feminine if you want that peace. Nah, I ain't trying to do that. If you're not going to do it, then it got to be on the woman to balance you. If you're not going to balance yourself,
That makes
then
sense.
the woman got to balance you.
You're right. I mean, I feel like that's But
I don't know, man. I need that from a woman. I need that. I need that constant communication, telling me how you feel. I want to tell you how I feel because I mean, a relationship is built off communication. If we can't, we're not gonna always agree, but we have to try to have an understanding of our partner's point of view because it's important. We're not gonna always see things eye to eye. But if I have an understanding of why you feel the way you feel, you know.
So it's based on understanding, not communication, because we can communicate and we communicate. And
It
we're
is
not
based on
communicating-
understanding.
We're not communicating on the level of understanding, on the basis of understanding. We just communicating.
To the
Just
young
to
lady,
say
I
how
just,
I
I,
feel.
just, I just couldn't be with anybody that's not willing to
And even-
communicate with me, man.
I think it's a respect thing too. Even it goes beyond an understanding. It's more so a respect thing too. Because I mean, we don't always see eye to eye, but I must respect you as my partner. You know what I'm saying?
So if you had a partner that didn't communicate,
Well, I've been in a relationship where my partner does have a hard time. She's not expressive. I've been in a relationship like that, and it did create problems because I mean, I talk, and I mean, like like y'all said, I want to be able to come home and like, yo, this is what happened today. Look, we're good. Well, that's good, baby. You know what I'm saying? A little nourishment when you come home. You know what I'm saying? But you come home like, man, I ain't got time for that shit today. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That bothers a man, and it does bother you, and it messes with you. You have to. You have to.
But just because my question is, just because it makes sense, just because it makes sense.
Do you just accept that?
You learn the history. She's she's not communicating with me because something traumatic happened in her life. You can still leave.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that, though.
You ain't got to, but
That's an option.
Depends on what you love about that person.
Yeah, do you love them enough to deal with it?
I mean, you got to
So you
decide
gotta be
whether you're
worth
going to
it.
take on somebody else's baggage.
It's difficult, bro.
And sometimes you have to, just in a relationship, they could have went through hell with a dude that just was just no good for him, and then you find yourself dealing with her defenses or her lash outs because of some dude that was like her last relationship. And I think and it could be traumatic. She could have been really abused, or I mean, it could have been anything, but you really have to decide.
Are you willing to put up with that?
Do I want to help her conquer this? Because a lot of times,
Like, I don't even feel like that would be present had you not, like, if I say it gotta be a little bit of something like, and I agree with kind of what BJ talks about when the spirit recognizes the spirit, and you gotta put two people in the same energy or the same space for you to see yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People are mirrors, even the people we like hang out with. They're safe places to be vulnerable. Why? Because they're mirrors for ourselves. So they teach us a lot about ourselves.
Yeah.
So even like when you get into a relationship, a lot of times the reason it's the fact that you got into the relationship that makes you see the fact that, dang, I'm dealing with some shit that I was traumatized with my whole life that I ain't dealt with.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's something that thrust you into that. It's a person or a situation or something that thrust you. That's like, when I was dating him, I remember my father used to beat me, and that's why I ain't like when he touched my neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be like two. You gotta be somebody else or something that.
But I think that's the hard part. Like
you're not
dealing with an individual like that may have dealt. I ain't saying that they did, but
I mean, I think that's
like dealing for individuals that is that way or have dealt with traumatic experiences. It makes it hard on you as an individual, as a mate, because your moves and the things that you do gonna have to be calculated. Like you pretty much trying to tear down a wall, and now it's like, okay, I'm understanding this now. I understand why she reacts this way. I understand why she reacts this way. And then everything you do is feel like it has to be calculated, and that gets stressful, bro.
It do, bro. But you get out what you put in. You put in all that work.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
got to be a lot of fruit.
And I
That's
think
the laws of nature, right? That's law. You put out what you get in.
Absolutely.
Like what goes up must come down. So if you got somebody dealing with all these problems, you help them conquer all these problems. You got you a strong companion.
You know what? The love that they get back for
Sure,
that.
indeed, they got you some strong
And
love.
it'd be an undeniable.
Cause you had to put in strong love to put up with that. So you're gonna have some strong. You're gonna reciprocate some strong love.
It's gonna be a scary love.
love don't love nobody.
That's gonna be scary.
Show no love. Love will get you killed. Boosie told me that at a young age.
Since he agreed with what y'all said, he also responded, well, honestly, could it just be selfish? Honest.
It could be.
Wow.
It could be. Some people are just selfish and they
Exactly.
feel.
It could. I mean,
I'd
but
much rather be mysterious. I'd much rather be like.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think that says a lot about how you feel about you.
True.
Got me on there. Who am I speaking with? You got like a minute. No, you got my minute. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who this?
This is Monisha.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi,
Monique.
how y'all doing?
Monisa.
Doing all right.
What's good? What you got on your mind?
I wanted to chime in on what y'all was talking about on, the way of people was how they grew up
Right.
and what they went through in life.
Right.
That that affects them in their relationships and as they grow up as a person. Me personally, I didn't really grow up with a father in my life, and I didn't realize how much it affected me until I got into a relationship with a person that was more mature, more wise, and they opened my eyes to what I was going through or what I done been through and what I was traumatized with. So until I had somebody to help me open my eyes to what I had been through and what I was dealing with and what issues I had, I was blind to the fact of what I needed to grow, and I needed to love myself. And it took somebody to love me more than I love myself to be able to love myself. So sometimes you do need that other person to allow you, to push you forward, to help you grow, to mature, to love yourself.
Ooh,
That's God.
That's God. And he only,
Hey, that's Jesus,
and
bro.
somebody else, bro.
What would Jesus do?
Hey, man, we appreciate
He
that,
gave his whole life.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for
Facts,
those keys.
facts.
No problem. Happy Father's Day to y'all too as well.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate that.
It's love. All right, man. Conversation could go on
Forever, bro.
Forever.
I got class in the morning.
I gotta go to work.
You know what I'm saying?
too.
So, I just want to tell the fathers who came today, feedback and gave their opinions. Thank you for coming. Thank you for thugging it with us for 2 hours in the dungeon. Thank you. Great fathers. Thank you for being great examples. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Supposed to do a whole interview with the father of Academy about how Academy started and all that. We gotta say that for another day.
It's
We
got
gotta
spiritual,
have-
boy.
Yeah, it got real spiritual, but that's what happened.
I guess God needed to express.
Iron sharpens
Somebody
iron.
needed to hear something today. Because it just because the wave how it just went. It just
It
went
shifted.
It shifted. God
That's
needed
the
for
Bible
somebody
way
on
in
this
us.
live today. He needed for y'all to hear something. Whoever it was, I hope you got what you needed though.
That's
Facts,
iron
facts.
sharpens iron, man. Stay on for too much longer. We appreciate you, Pops, for coming through. We got to get you back.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get you back. Appreciate you, Jay, bro, for coming
Yo.
through, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all, fellas.
Tay had to step out. But, well, we appreciate you, Tay, for coming through, man. And this is Academy on there. We just here to inspire, motivate, and most importantly,
Show love.
Y'all tune in next week. We got Kalia Clark.
Kalia Clark with the lip balm. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Next
doubt.
week.
Straight like that.
Them lips.